Summer marks the beginning of this story. Between the warm sunlight and the quiet path, old memories slowly resurface. A girl he could only meet during summer vacation, his cousin, who always walked ahead of him with a gentle smile. That simple moment became one of his most precious memories, one he never truly forgot. The boy meets a girl named Lunane. Hand in hand, they run down the narrow path, laughing under the bright summer sun. To his younger self, that brief time together felt incredibly special. Without realizing it, a quiet feeling began to take root in his heart. From that day on, Lunane became the brightest presence in his memories. His name is Naoto Kiyoshi, 19 years old. After repeating a year of studies, he finally passed the university entrance exam in Tokyo. Now, Naoto stands in front of his new apartment. For him, this is the first step toward a brand new life, unaware that a familiar fate from his past is about to resurface. Naoto never expected his search for a place to live would lead him back to a name he had kept close to his heart. Lunane, the cheerful girl from those summers long ago. The offer came out of nowhere, living together. Without thinking twice, Naoto accepted. 10 years had passed, and in his mind, Lunane had surely grown into someone warm, kind, and captivating. Naoto takes a deep breath and stands in front of the door. With a nervous voice, he introduces himself. The door opens, and a cheerful voice greets him warmly, as if the past 10 years had never passed. In that instant, Naoto's eyes widen. The long-awaited reunion finally happens, and his heart starts racing faster than ever. The door opens, revealing a cheerful girl with a confident smile. Dressed casually and acting a little too familiar, she greets him as if there's no distance between them at all. Behind her bright energy, the messy room hints that this reunion won't be calm or ordinary, but awkward, spontaneous, and full of unexpected moments. At first glance, everything feels overwhelming. The trash-filled room, her casual outfit, and the silver-haired girl's carefree, unrestrained aura. Meanwhile, Naoto can only freeze in place, his body stiff and his expression tense, caught somewhere between confusion and nervous anticipation. With a slightly awkward smile, the girl apologizes for the chaotic state of her room, treating the mess as if it were nothing more than a small inconvenience. Naoto does his best to remain polite, carefully suppressing the awkwardness and discomfort building inside him. Without giving it much thought, the girl casually offers her help and gestures toward a simple place for him to sit. Her natural warmth and innocent demeanor gradually soften the atmosphere, easing the tension that had filled the room just moments ago. Naoto stands frozen, his reaction bursting into complete shock. The sight before him is far beyond anything he had imagined, to the point where his thoughts seem to come to a halt. Meanwhile, the girl remains perfectly at ease. With an innocent smile, she casually offers him a simple drink and moves around the small kitchen without a trace of guilt or hesitation. Her clumsy yet warm behavior stirs a quiet question in Naoto's mind. Is this really the person he used to know? Time has certainly passed, but the change feels far too significant to simply ignore. Naoto's thoughts drift back into the past. The girl standing before him now feels completely different from the one he remembers. Back then, she had dark hair, a simple demeanor, and lacked the confidence to stand out. Now, every small detail about her feels unfamiliar, yet undeniably real, a quiet reminder of how much time has changed her. As she calmly prepares the drinks, she reveals a mature side Naoto had never once imagined before. With a nervous expression, Naoto accepts the glass of water, unsure of where he should rest his gaze. The girl's bright smile feels uncomfortably close, and it's clear she's genuinely happy to be reunited with Naoto once again. That smile comes so naturally, as if it holds no secrets at all. To her, their relationship is nothing more than a distant memory, a simple, innocent closeness, like that of an older sister and a younger brother. But inside Naoto's mind, fragments of the past begin to resurface. The time they spent together back then felt warm. And perhaps it was never as simple as he's trying to convince himself it was now. With a cheerful laugh, the girl steps closer without hesitation, carefully observing the changes she never expected to see. The way she closes the distance so naturally makes the boy grow nervous, slowly realizing that time has altered many things, including the space that once existed between them. Without realizing it, the distance between them grows even smaller. Her relaxed, casual attitude only makes Naoto panic. Everything feels too close, too fast. Yet beneath the confusion, one thing becomes increasingly clear. This closeness is no longer just nostalgia, but something slowly beginning to shift in a new direction. The girl stepped closer without a second thought. Too close. The sudden distance sent Naoto into panic. With a playful smile, she told him to stop being so formal. Just call me Luna. Her jokes, her relaxed attitude, only pushed him further to the edge. In seconds, his nervousness collapsed, turning into complete panic. Panic written all over his face. Naoto finally voiced his doubts. His lack of confidence laid bare. But Luna only brushed it off. Calm, playful, almost teasing. To her, those doubts meant nothing. Her openness, her unwavering confidence, slowly began to shift the entire mood. Without any warning, Luna stepped forward again, that mischievous smile still on her face. Naoto froze. Shocked, he stumbled back in pure panic. But she didn't stop. A soft laugh escaped her lips, clearly enjoying his over-the-top reaction. She teased him once more, as if that tiny step alone was enough to pull the distance between them even closer. With a confident smile, Luna looked straight at him and said he hadn't changed at all. Such a simple line, yet it completely threw Naoto off balance. As the air turned awkward, Naoto scrambled for an excuse to escape, panicking as he tried to avoid her gaze. The moment the door opened, the mess inside his room was impossible to ignore. Naoto sighed to himself, feeling like his life was already adult, yet he was still being treated like a child. He began tidying up half-heartedly, hoping to carve out at least a small space where he could finally rest. While cleaning, Naoto accidentally found a photo, buried in the pile of trash. Luna froze. Shock flashed across her face, quickly turning into embarrassment. She panicked, desperate to stop him. Whatever was in that photo, she clearly didn't want Naoto to see it. Casually, Luna pointed to the room next door. That's my room. Just one wall apart, meaning they'd be living right beside each other. Naoto tried to stay calm, but inside his head, his heart was already making far too much noise. With an innocent smile and a faint blush, Luna suddenly apologized first. She told him not to be surprised if things got a little noisy later. Naoto could only stare blankly and nod, clearly having no idea what she actually meant. In the middle of the night, Naoto suddenly woke up. The clock read past 2 a.m. Then, from the room next door, a faint sound slipped through the wall. In an instant, Naoto was wide awake. The sound grew clearer, snapping Naoto fully awake. He sat up in shock. Every small movement, every faint noise, from behind the door, felt painfully real in the silence of the night. His heartbeat lost its rhythm, caught somewhere between curiosity and nervous tension. Naoto's imagination started to run wild. In his mind, Luna wore a wide smile. Her cheeks flushed, as if she was enjoying something he couldn't see. His thoughts spiraled out of control. What is actually happening right now? A sudden thought crossed Naoto's mind. Was Luna with her boyfriend, right now? Naoto tried to calm himself down, forcing his mind to stop overthinking. But no matter how hard he tried, one thing refused to fade away. Luna's voice kept echoing in his head, shattering his focus. Sitting alone on the edge of the bed, he was trapped in a dilemma. Doubt and curiosity collided, leaving him completely torn. Naoto pulled the blanket over himself, forcing his eyes shut, trying to fall back asleep. But Luna's voice refused to leave him, echoing endlessly in his ears. That night felt endlessly long. With trembling hands and tired, reddened eyes, Naoto stood frozen, realizing his mind was anything but calm. Exhaustion wasn't enough to overpower, the anxiety pressing down on his chest. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't even close his eyes. Time slipped by unnoticed until morning arrived. With a worn-out face and emotions piled too high, Naoto finally broke, the weight of the sleepless night bursting into confusion. What he'd been holding in all along was simply too much to bear alone. Beneath his overreaction lay an honest truth. He was completely overwhelmed by the situation. Luna appeared with a bright smile and a light greeting, as if the tense night before had never happened. Her carefree, innocent attitude remained unchanged. Meanwhile, Naoto stood beside her, completely drained, exhaustion written clearly across his face. A sleepless night and tangled thoughts left him with nothing to do but let out a long, weary sigh. With a cheerful expression, Luna suddenly stepped closer and brought up a memory from the past, a promise they once made. Back then, Luna had said that once Naoto grew taller than her, she would teach him something special. In the dim light, Luna leaned in without hesitation. "Look forward just a little, okay?" Naoto froze. His back hit the wall as panic rushed through him. His mind completely overwhelmed. Luna's calm smile only made it worse, turning the quiet room into a battlefield of nerves. Whatever was about to happen next, Naoto was clearly not ready for it. The morning started with a small disaster. Naoto was in the middle of drinking when Luna greeted him casually, acting like everything was perfectly normal. Then he noticed it. Luna hadn't changed properly yet. Naoto froze in shock, completely caught off guard by the sudden sight. Just as Naoto was about to leave, Luna suddenly stopped, flashing a mischievous smile as she casually teased him. Naoto's face instantly heated up, unsure where he was even supposed to look. To Luna, it was nothing more than harmless fun. But for Naoto, every second felt more dangerous, and far too hard to ignore. Days went by, yet peace never truly returned. Through the thin wall, faint sounds kept slipping through, just enough to break his focus and wear him down. Naoto tried to convince himself that everything was fine, but the more it happened, the harder it became to keep pretending nothing was wrong. Kawashina was Naoto's first friend at university. Noticing the confusion on Naoto's face, he quickly sensed something was wrong. Naoto finally opened up, talking about his sleep problems and the constant noise coming from the other side of the wall. Kawashina glanced at him and immediately noticed the dark circles under his eyes, clear signs of sleepless nights. With a calm tone, he offered a simple suggestion. "Why don't you try using earplugs?" That night, Naoto put on the earplugs Kawashina had given him. Finally, he was hoping for a quiet night. He had heard those sounds too many times. They were already burned into Naoto's mind. Even with the earplugs on, the noise refused to disappear, echoing inside his head as if it were never really gone. Silence surrounded him, yet his thoughts were anything but quiet. The confusion finally reached its breaking point. Alone in his room, Naoto's mind was flooded with questions, none of them with answers. Then, a knock on the door shattered everything. Standing there was the last person he expected to see. His heart began to pound violently, as if the very problem he'd been avoiding had come looking for him on its own. With a careful, attentive gaze, Luna noticed it immediately. Naoto looked exhausted. His eyes were puffy, his face drained, clearly the signs of someone who hadn't slept well. With a worried tone, yet still trying to stay cheerful, Luna asked if he was okay. That only made Naoto more flustered. Instead of being honest, he nervously denied everything, but his reaction gave him away. Suddenly, Luna began to blame herself. Without warning, Luna slipped under the blanket. Naoto froze in surprise. Calmly, she told him. She just wanted to help him sleep, the same way she used to, when he was still a child. Memories from the past slowly came back to him. Back when Naoto was still a child, Luna would stay by his side. Whenever he woke up from a bad dream, she would gently put him to sleep again, telling him a fairy tale. Always the same calm, familiar voice. Naoto remembered those moments from when he was little. Luna's bedtime stories were never one-sided. They were gentle and interactive. As she spoke, her hand slowly reached out and rested on Naoto's hand, just like she used to back then. Luna leaned closer and whispered softly, her voice calm and soothing. Naoto's face slowly turned red, caught off guard by the sudden closeness. Gently, Luna adjusted the blanket and kept reassuring him with small, familiar movements, just like she used to long ago. Naoto could no longer hold back the turmoil inside him. The closeness, the memories, the sleepless nights. Everything piled up at once. Luna remained calm, almost playful, completely unaware of the storm raging in his chest. His thoughts began to blur, emotions colliding until his mind slowly went blank. Caught between reason and impulse, Naoto was reaching his limit. Naoto completely lost it. He burst into panic, shouting as he jumped away, unable to believe he could sleep. In a situation this intense, his breathing went wild. His face turned bright red. His brain basically crashed. Meanwhile, Luna could only apologize, with an awkward grin, admitting she got a little carried away. Before Naoto could fully calm down, Luna stepped closer once again. She gently patted him and spoke softly, asking if he remembered this song. As Luna began to sing, the familiar melody slowly wrapped around him. Little by little, Naoto's racing thoughts faded, and before he realized it, he was drifting back to sleep, to the sound of her voice. At last, Lulled by Luna's song, Naoto finally drifted into sleep. Watching him rest peacefully, Luna smiled softly. With a gentle goodnight gesture, she whispered her farewell. Good night. The long, exhausting night finally came to an end. The clock struck 7 in the morning. Naoto slowly woke up, embarrassment washing over him, as memories of the night before came back. Still, he felt relieved. For the first time in days, he had slept soundly. His body felt unusually heavy. That's when he realized Luna had fallen asleep right there, resting on top of him. Half asleep, Luna suddenly sensed something was off, and shifted slightly in confusion. Naoto froze. Realizing how awkward the situation had become, he bolted upright in panic. Face burning with embarrassment, Naoto hurried out of the room, escaping before either of them could say a word.